What was a horrific rumor that went around your school that ended up being true? The teacher that was horrible to all her students didn't come in for months, was an alcoholic who had a heart attack at the top of a set of stairs, fell and broke both her legs. To be honest, 15-year-old me didn't know how to react one way or the other. That's one way to avoid 12 steps. That the choir director was fooling around with a female student. When she turned 18 they got married. Bonus. It was strongly assumed he was gay due to his impressive level of fabulous. Similar story from my high school. The band teacher and a student eloped after graduation. He left his wife for her, but it's been 3 years and they're still married, so that's good. Everyone thought that these two teachers are freaking around after school. Just rumors, but turns out that they were married and she kept her maiden name. I've no idea why they didn't dispel the rumors. They probably just kept it going for shoots and giggles. I worked in education and this is something that would get a chuckle round the teacher's lounge. That some girl that was in my class got into a fight and stabbed another girl with a fork. I didn't believe it, but then I saw the video of the event, and the girl who got stabbed posted pictures of her fork wounds. Whoa, she's done. That a student had a broom handle shoved up his butt in the boys' locker room. Turned out to be true when rape charges were pressed. The shop teacher in our middle school being a total pedophile pervert. The guy looked like your stereotypical sex offender. Big, round glasses, balding with unkempt hair, greasy face and really bizarre mannerisms. Myself and others figured that was just middle school BS. A couple years after I left he got busted for CP. A few of them. The band teacher was sleeping with his female students. He would start a relationship with a different high school senior every year. New York's age of consent is 17, so he didn't actually commit a sex offense that I'm aware of, and he just resigned from his position. One of the girls is now a local stand-up comedian and made a passing reference to a teacher fetish in her stand-up routine when I saw her. The student killed in a car accident was actually run over by his drug dealer because he never paid for his weed. The police put things together pretty quickly, but the school denied it was a murder the entire year. One of the gym teachers used to be a neo-Nazi. He never got his swastika tattoo removed, and one day he didn't cover it up as well as he normally did and some student noticed it. He still works there. He was incredibly friendly to me and my brother, but I mean we're white so that doesn't mean anything. My brother always used to joke about the 7th 8th grade science teacher. Don't ever be alone with him, he likes little boys. It was actually a well-known joke around school. Fast forward 15 years later and guess who got arrested for liking little boys? The teacher. Not my brother. He died before the guy got popped, so he never even got his told you so in. Oh, he is rubbing it in, you just can't hear him. My senior year there was a rumor that a guy had drugged and raped a classmate. The rumor started when they had both been out of school for several days. While he hadn't drugged her, he had attacked her, beaten her, and tried to rape her before someone overheard and intervened. He went to jail and she was homeschooled for the rest of the year. In my high school there was a rumor that a girl got gang raped by the entire football team. Thought it was just a rumor till one of the guys on the team confirmed it. Someone had brought a gun and got busted in the bathroom before he could start shooting. They kept it hush, but someone found out. It got passed around as a rumor for a few months before it got confirmed by video. The teacher that got 4 girls pregnant. I guess I can't be sure how many he actually did get pregnant, but after I left he was found out when a girl actually had his baby and he was fired and named in a royal commission. It wasn't as much of a crime back in the 90s. Should be a crime to name your kid that. There was a rumor at my high school that the German teacher, on the annual German club trip to Germany, encouraged the kids to get drunk, since it was illegal in the US and legal there. Turns out one of the reasons he wanted to get them drunk was to have mutual masturbation parties. Kind of disturbed it took 10 years for this crap to finally boil over. Our Germans and their sex parties. A girl in my school was picked on because people believed her mother was a prostitute. I found that this actually was true years later at a party. The poor girl was teased through all her years in school because of a true rumor about her mother. It's sad that the kids definitely heard the rumor from someone's parents. There was a rumor that 2 seniors were fricking on the school bus to our Votech school. Turns out there actually was 2 seniors, who were my friends, that were stealth fricking on the bus. The police came to our school and questioned everyone that rode the bus. It was at that point that I realized that the rumors were true. A girl ran away from home and everyone said it was because she was pregnant by a much older man. She was 15 at the time. We came to find out that she was indeed pregnant and was expelled for being pregnant, and that the man she'd been with ultimately wanted her to run off with her to Arizona or something. Since she wasn't in the school anymore, that was the last we heard of it. The super creepy Bushman 7th grade teacher who everyone was sure was a pedo turned out to just be misunderstood, while the super cool awesome music teacher everyone loved turned out to be the kiddie diddler. In high school I was told that my English teacher had a website where she wrote stories about guys exposing themselves to her. I looked up her name and yeah, it's true. She wrote that she liked it. Oh. I went to high school with a couple that got married at 16. She came to school pregnant. Rumor was her husband's father got her pregnant. Seemed laughably unbelievable. Turned out to be 100% true. We lived in a nice suburb. This wasn't like anything my school had seen. Male prostitution ring. Staffed by varsity athletes. There were only 4 of 5 of them, and they were all 18-year-old seniors. Their pimps, for lack of a better word, were a teacher and 1 member of the office staff. It was the teacher's husband that figured it out when he caught her sleeping with one of her employees. It was really messed up. I felt horrible for the students, but even more so for the husband. Not only did he catch his wife having an affair, but he had to find out his spouse was playing madam at the local high school. Special needs student starts jacking off in class. The catch: he understood what he was doing and how bad it was at that time. He's just in butthole. That my high school English teacher and tennis coach was inviting young boys over to help with yard work but was actually hosting forced circle jerks and molesting them. He invited me once. I declined. His name was Skip Revel. Of freaking course his name was Skip. In primary, I think 5th grade, a girl from my class suddenly moved away. No warning, no goodbyes. She and her family just disappeared. Of course, rumors started circulating, and the most extreme was that her little sister, 2yo, I believe, had died in her sleep due to some kind of poisonous gas in their house and they had to move away. It turned out to be true. Once the gas was sorted out, their house was turned into a clinic so things like that wouldn't happen again, since the only hospital was 30 minutes away. There was a rumor that this girl in my middle school was sexually active and some people started saying she was pregnant. This was about 17 years ago. Sadly, the rumor was true. This 12-year-old girl was pregnant because her mother was whoring her out to a guy she knew. Another one. There was a rumor around about a guy in my senior year of high school going out with a 7th grade girl. It was almost true. He was dating a 13-year-old girl in 8th grade. He was 18. Everyone thought he was a loser, but the girl's parents either didn't know or didn't care. Holy, how did the school find out that her mom was doing this to her? A student disappeared between 2nd and 3rd grade. Rumor was his grandparents kidnapped him and defected to North Korea. Blew my mind years later when I found out it had been true and they recovered him. When I first read this I wondered why someone would defect from America to North Korea. Then I remembered America wasn't where everybody lived. Elementary school. We used to joke that a male teacher had a crush on one of the girl students in the 4th grade because he favored her all the time. Fast forward 15 years later, the girl is a mess, drugs, booze, skanky, and it turned out he was molesting her all through elementary school. That's the worst one here. We had 3 that stuck out. The physics teacher quit unexpectedly in the middle of the school year, and there was a rumor that he and a student had made some brilliant invention together after school and never needed to work again. Turns out he invented some kind of military power armor in his spare time. Dude is a freaking millionaire now. There was a rumor that 2 seniors got caught full on fricking on the drama room floor during lunch when the drama teacher went into the classroom to get something. The 2 ended up being the leads in the school play, and whenever they would screw up their lines, the drama teacher would march over, stand on the exact spot where they were fricking and publicly shame them. There was a rumor that the Spanish teacher drank straight cooking oil at school, which just seemed like a mean thing that kids would say about an extremely obese teacher. Dude asked me to help him fix his computer one day, and sure enough, there are jugs and jugs of cooking oil stashed under his desk, gallons of the stuff, and a half-empty water bottle of it, lid off, next to his keyboard. He had a massive heart attack in class 4 years after I graduated and ended up getting a triple bypass. My high school was a freaking zoo. In high school, a very pretty blonde tall guidance counselor was promoted with a serious pay raise. We all joked and speculated that it was because she was fricking the superintendent because they were always giving each other frick me eyes across the halls. Turns out it was true. He resigned. She's still in that position. A girl in our school went missing over summer. Rumors flew around about how her 2 best friends were involved somehow. Turns out they were the ones who killed her. That my one-armed gym teacher had to leave school in the middle of the year because he got caught with M that he was trying to plant in his ex-wife's car so that he could keep the kids. That turned into a huge deal at my little high school. No one made a big deal about how he was always walking around the school armed though. Well, one-armed. A girl I went to high school with, straight A student, college scholarship, everything disappeared one day. Not a kidnapping though. She got a boyfriend in Cali, not a lot of money but mailed her a plane ticket. She left her cell phone. She left everything. Just took a backpack and the clothes on her back and flew to California. Dropped her entire life for this guy. Didn't tell her parents, only told her friends. Not a clue what happened to her. I tried for too long to figure out what the lack of naps had to do with the story. That somebody was selling sexual favors in the toilets. Turns out it was true. Teacher saw a line of guys outside the boys' toilets and figured something was up. Continued walking past and got another couple of teachers to back them up and cover themselves legally. They went into the toilets, empty apart from a cubicle with a closed door. Knocked on it only for somebody to tell them to wait their turn. Turns out a girl was giving out BJs for $10 a time. Her and the guy caught both got expelled. The ones in line didn't as they had legged it, plus there was no proof they had done anything. Only that they planned to. Our teacher did let us know who they were so we took the pee out of them. This has to be Birmingham. Teacher was a complete fisco and kids used to say he locked people in closets and left them there to kill them. Don't know if he killed anyone, but locked 2 science teachers in there with the full intention to leave them there. This was the final period of the day and before winter break, and no one would have noticed 2 teachers being missing. Luckily by sheer chance someone wound up looking for equipment down there and let them out. Apparently one of the teachers had a slight mental breakdown, severe mental breakdown, and was absolutely terrified. The other teacher was just trying his best to be nice, but it went around the school that he had a major crush on her. 3 years later and they're married with a baby. When I was 14, my dad committed suicide. A few years later, my mom married my now stepdad. He had 2 young kids who he had sole custody of. Anyways, after they got married, we moved to a different school. There was this kid in my ag class that everyone was really hateful towards. He creeped me out. One day I asked one of the other kids why everyone treated him so badly. The kid says, that's because he raped his little cousin. He went to juvie, and everyone wants to kick his butt. At the time, my mom was the teacher who worked in the alternative school in this district. I asked her if this was true, and if she knew him. She started crying and said it was true, and the child the kid raped was my stepbrother. He was 3 when it happened. My stepbrother is an adult now, and he's still got a lot of problems. A guy broke into his girlfriend's room one night and raped her. Even more fricked up was the fact that she told him that she wanted to be raped and how it was the most romantic thing she could think of. He waited until her parents were out one night, climbed in the window, did the deed, and revealed himself. She said that he was the best boyfriend ever and they continued to date for a while. I don't think she understands what rape means. A second one for me. The girl that was rumored to regularly get her dog to lick her out. Years later her best friend showed me a picture of it happening. I think the best friend had taken the picture but I didn't ask. A kid threw a petrol bomb at a random pupil outside the school gates one home time. Seemed too ridiculous to be true. Turned out it genuinely happened. As a teacher, my co-teacher and I just knew that our supervisor, The assistant principal was sleeping with a fellow teacher. He was married with 4 kids at the time. When he left to get a different position, I had the balls to ask him if he and Lindsay were an item. Needless to say, he became seriously angry with me. Cue to 6 months later, and Lindsay is 3 months pregnant with his kid. A history teacher had an affair with another teacher. Turns out he did. Ruined his marriage and he lost his job. Only found out when I was told by a family friend that the school was having a mass for him. After his marriage and job loss he killed himself. Was one of the nicest teachers I ever had and was the reason I chose history for my HSC. A 14-year-old girl sent a graphic nude to her boyfriend. That scumbag doxed her after they broke up. I saw the picture on my friend's phone, and dang, the rumor was true. I remember seeing the cops put her in cuffs and arrest her out of the school. Her boyfriend didn't get any punishment because he deleted the original image and denied ever having seen it. Back in 1st grade, a rumor went around that I was a lesbian because I kissed a girl in the bathroom. I did kiss said girl, but I wasn't a lesbian. At least not at that point. Not exactly a rumor, but 2 people, I think sophomores, got caught having anal sex in one of the gyms, specifically in the loft where dudes practiced wrestling. A bunch of people were arguing that it was wrong to chastise them for having sex on school property, while the other side was arguing it was really goddamn dumb considering the freshmen used that gym for their gym class. The theater kids were a fairly insular group, stuck to their own, fricked like rabbits, snotty little shoots. All the girls wanted this one dude and he slept with pretty much anything. All of a sudden this rumor started going around about the theater kids and that they had all sorts of STDs and stuff. A lot of us discounted it because who would think 14-18-year-olds would have STDs? Except that dude. That dude had all sorts of fricked up things none of us knew about, and it turned out that he really did pass around gonorrhea and herpes. He died a few years back due to complications after AIDS. The practice rooms were, in practice, more like pleasure pits. They installed larger windows instead of the small safety windows so that people passing by could more easily check on what was happening inside. Within that week a janitor busted the theater kids having a threesome in there, and that's why I joined theater. I was once invited by a band girl into one of the practice rooms so that she can show her skills playing the flute. She literally just played the flute. It was pretty good actually, but really awkward because she was obviously trying to impress me because she liked me but didn't know how to move forward from there. I don't remember talking to her much after that. There was a mom of one of the students who was said to have allowed drinking and smoking weed during a party. The rumors got worse, saying she played naked Twister with her daughter and 2 teenage boys, after which she slept with her daughter's boyfriend. The rumor was painfully true. How do I know? I was there, not participating, and never mentioned due to the fact that I stayed under the dining room table crying. The daughter was one of my best friends and the mother lost custody of all 6 of her kids. Our drama director at my middle school was an intense guy, and we all joked about how creepy he was. He made all of us girls wear tight sequined skirts or dresses as costumes to keep the artistic integrity of the musicals. 10 years later, he was arrested for molesting his 18-year-old girlfriend's 11-year-old little sister. None of us who had been in his plays were the least bit surprised that our teacher watched pee during class. He hadn't done it my class yet. Then it happened. We were 9 years old. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.